I probably have one of the weakest tummies out of most people I know. I mean, I'll look at something or smell something and be like, yeah, I'm ready to regurgitate now. I'm sure many of you have already been online and seen the pictures of these alien-looking creatures, and it's like, look at that, that's just a water bug. And you're like, what? That's what a water bug looks like zoomed in? Gross. Totally gross. But now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it, so you're traumatized for life. And since I've seen these quite recently as well, I figured I don't want to be alone in the trauma.
I'm dragging you with me. Let's do it.
So for this week's crafting video, I really wanted to recreate these images into actual miniature sculptures. So I want to see what they're going to look like. Can I recreate it? Does it still look as gross, or can I recreate it as gross in real life? And the answer is probably. Pretty sure I could do it. So in addition to the one you guys obviously see in the thumbnail, which, fun fact, is a maggot up close, we're going to be creating 3 in total. So there's other gross ones too. It's not just the maggot. Since I don't want this video to just be gross, I want to also be informative. Fact number 1 about maggots. Did you know that maggots are actually an FDA approved treatment? So if you have an infection, your doctor is totally allowed to put maggots on it. Would you actually be okay with that? Vote. I'm curious. This week's shoutouts go to, and I have quite a few, Nutcase Art, The Real Jasmine, Yo-Yo the Yolk, that totally made my night. Bonus points if you know the reference. Tendon House, and last but not least, Layla Mormon. If you want a shout out in my Friday videos, don't forget to hashtag Nerdification Squad in the comment section below within the first 45 minutes of a video's release, or hashtag NerdECrafter on Instagram anytime with any of your creations. Alright, so I'm looking at the picture of the maggot. It is just so gross. It really looks like the weirdest thing ever, with huge eyes and fangs sticking out. I don't know why my mind just went into trauma. I blocked everything now. Where'd I go? It's pretty nasty. When we look at the flesh, it is kind of like a tan brown color, even though what we see is like whitish. Some of you are asking, I use Sculpey 3. It's not necessarily the strongest clay, but it is my preferred one because it is softer. So let's mix brown, translucent, and a fleshy tone to try and get that color. So the picture here only gives us the top part of the face. What we need is to see what the body looks like. I don't want to see what maggots look like, but this is for science! And for you, more than anything. Maggot close up. Oh my god. I think that's a good one. Oh! No! It's gotta be a chubby body. Ugh. Let's do this. First things first, chubby body, which has a little bit of a point over here. That seems gross enough, right? And now it seems to have brown textured rings all the way down. I'm gonna place the head first, so it's gonna be at this tip, flat brown. And it's not supposed to be perfect because it's an alive creature. I realize that some of you might have your heads in the gutter, but I can't change you. Alright, so now we need 2 gross eyes. That's just... they're not even straight, they're just kind of like wobbly. It kind of looks like a Muppet. The body is not fully straight. There's a little bit of texture, there's a little bit of movement, and I think I want to make it kind of curved upwards to look like it's looking for something nasty. So I'm gonna add the rims around the body, curve it, and then put the teeth in, and I think that's pretty much it. Oh wait, take a look at the picture. Right before the second brown rim, there's this little thing on the maggot. Is that another critter? I'm not recreating that. No. It's so gross. Another fun fact, on the island of Sardinia, maggot-infested cheese is actually a delicacy. They eat it, so they get extra protein with their cheese. Would you eat maggots? Next creature is going to be a water worm, or a water worm, clamworm. There are like hundreds of species, but we're going to particularly take this one. I have to say it does look like a outside part of a sock, but the eyes, there's just no way going around this, guys. The eyes, they look like nips. There's no way around it. We're gonna try and recreate this. Again, I still don't have a clue what it looks like, so I'm just gonna make it into a worm form and keep that same sock mouth. Why do these creatures look like innuendos? It's not me, I promise. Or maybe it is. To get this creature's skin, we're going to be using a light fleshy color, translucent and a little bit of red, and I feel like to make the eyes, we're gonna have to use some chalk pastels. Alright, time to make the sock-looking face. Fun fact about tapeworms. The longest tapeworm to have ever been found was as long as a plane, and it was found inside a whale. Can you imagine having something that kind of looks like this inside your belly? Time to make the eyes, and we all know what that looks like. So we're gonna kind of make a teardrop shape, kind of, you know, innocently. I think over here, I think we need this part here to be a little perkier. I'm gonna go with that. Here is our marine worm! Me! Good! I thought this would be a little harder, but it turns out it wasn't that bad, but I did make some mistakes, especially when it comes to the mouth. It should have been pushed in a little more. My mouth is sticking out too much, whereas the one that's in the picture kind of has it inwards. So I think that would have made it even cooler. Still pretty gross. I wouldn't want anything like that in me. Time for the last one. This one has been all over the internet for the longest time. So if you have never seen it before, I don't know what rock you're hiding under. This is a water bear. For some reason, it reminds me of Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's probably all the legs. So let's go ahead and make that chubby looking creature with all these claws. I like the fact that it doesn't have much of a face, just kind of like a mouth. That totally doesn't look like anything. It's again brown, so we're working with like very fleshy colors. I think the biggest challenge for me is going to be making a chubby looking creature. Every time I've made creatures, they were, you know, pretty slim or muscular, but this is pretty chubby and it has like all these cute little folds where it should be. I'm just not sure how well I can replicate it, so cross your fingers with me. Fun fact, water bears are also initially called tardigrades, probably saying it wrong. And they've been found to live in extreme heat of over 151 degrees Celsius. For my Fahrenheit people, that's 304 Fahrenheit. If you look a little closely, like really closely at the mouth of the water bear, you'll see that it looks like a cogwheel on the inside. I really want to capture that. I'm gonna take a straw, try to cut a circle, and hopefully be able to fit it around that tiny mouth. That's the circle. For the claws, it would be extremely impossible at this size to make them with polymer clay and have them stick. So I'm using the thinnest wire I can find, stick them together, shove them up there, and then shove the whole thing in the oven. Here is our absolutely weird water bear. I think this was pretty good considering I'm not usually used to making chubby critters. I think I did some folds pretty well. I could have made it a little more foldy, but what you gonna do? The wires worked so well for the legs and, well, for the claws, and you can move them around and they won't break. Overall, I think this is not a too bad replica. I think in almost all of the creations, I went just a little too dark on all of the skin tones. So here they are, each one side by side on the picture I replicated. Let me know which one is your favorite. Is it the water bear? Is it the marine worm? Or is it the maggot? They're all pretty nasty. I don't even want to look at them. Which one of these three nasty looking critters is your favorite? Who would you take on a date? I think if I really had to take one on a date, it would definitely be the water bear. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know, and what I'm gonna do is maybe make a part 2. If you have other weird creatures that you think would be pretty cool in polymer clay, let me know their names. I'll definitely research them and find some fun facts to share with you. If you want to watch a crafting video, make sure you check it up here. And if you want to watch a salty review, check it down there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until then, I will see you in the next video.